I'm at Purple Valley.
With David Robson.
Excellent.
That's me. Yeah, remember? David
that's
Robson.
Right. I said something weird
Yeah,
last time.
yeah.
You know,
With, you forgot. You were
Who
like,
was
with,
That's right. Crazy. Okay, here we go. Hey, this is Stu, and of course I'm at the beautiful Purple Valley, and it's that time of year when David Robson has visited us with Jelena Vesic as well. She'll be on the film later. Brilliant time. I love this time of year again. And they were going to look at third series, a little bit of the third series where you've got all the arm balances and the transitions into those arm balances, which are a little bit tricky. Mm-hmm. And you know, you might think, oh my God, third series, well, what interest is that to me? But actually, there's some stuff that's accessible if you want to also play outside the practice. It's accessible for quite a few people if you've got the arm strength, isn't there, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think a lot of the postures will be familiar to people doing vinyasa style practices.
Yeah.
There are arm balances that show up in lots of different practices.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they're hard. A lot of, you'll see what's hard about them is how we get into them.
Yes.
So many of them we enter through a headstand
Yeah.
position. But when we break them down, and if we're not doing them consecutively, if we're not sort of sticking to the vinyasa, then they're not as hard.
Yeah.
That makes them a bit more accessible.
And that's one of the challenges in the third series, isn't it? Is that they're just back-to-back arm balances, and you're lifting up, and you're lowering down, and then you're doing the other side, and then you've got another one.
Yeah.
So it's like brutal, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Lots of panting. Like just stopping. And you're not supposed to come down on your knees or you know, or stop.
So you've got to stay up.
You stay in downward dog and try to catch your breath and then go back
and then
again.
go.
But it's such a battle of will. You know, you just want to stop and rest so much. So it's such a mental part of the practice. The handstanding stuff. You'd think it's all strength, like physical strength, but it's all in your brain. Yeah, because you're tired at that point. You just did all these leg behind the head poses and all of the standing and stuff. Yeah. And so you're so tired, and you know, okay, now I'm supposed to jump forward again. You know that's the next vinyasa, but your body's like, nope.
It's like a horse or donkey refusing to cross the road or something. So is there one of these in particular that is your nemesis, or is it harder than any of the others for you?
Well, I'm lucky with the arm balances. I think that's why we're making the video, because they come a bit easier than some of the other postures in third. But maybe the twisted ones, Koundinyasana. Yeah. Because twists aren't great for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So we'll make a start. So which ones are we doing first?
We'll do them in order.
Okay.
Yeah. So the first one's Vrischikasana. There's an A, B, and a C. Nice. So A actually is going to be that headstand entry that I was talking about.
Yeah, perfect.
It's kind of fun. And maybe because we're going to go over the headstand entry again and again, I can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
Because there's a neck to it, isn't it? Because it looks like you're floating down. Obviously, you don't want to just with your head on the floor. So you sort of float onto the floor. And that looks almost difficult to do in itself, let alone all the rest of it.
Exactly. It is kind of difficult to do.
Okay.
Yeah. There's options. I'll show you.
Yeah, can we show? So I'm going to move back some out your way.
Okay.
And
so first, I think it's going to be hard for me to talk and do it. So I'll do it, and then we can talk about it.
Perfect.
All right.
Cool.
Not so bad.
That was easy enough, wasn't it, really? Yeah. So the jump in, now that reminded me of a jump through. That same find the float and then lower the head to the floor.
Yeah.
Was that it?
That's right. You're definitely jumping into a point of balance so that you can lower down using the strength of your arms.
Yeah.
Do you know what
Sorry,
I mean?
Jump into Bakasana, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, jump into Bakasana. So if you're doing that in, where is it, somewhere in the intermediate series, isn't it? Yeah.
You have to jump so that your center of balance is between your hands, and then you'll be able to resist through your arms as you bring your head down to the floor.
Yeah.
If you just jump in the arc and let gravity take you down, that's when you'll go clunk.
Conk on the head.
But, that's the correct vinyasa to jump into it.
Yes.
But it's not sort of really firmly enforced.
Okay.
So you'll see a lot of people will do more gentle kind of jump. Like they'll stay low and jump into it.
Yeah, okay.
It's kind of a more reasonable.
Yeah.
The other one's just more showy.
Flourish.
More for Instagram.
Exactly.
Or if Sharat's watching.
Does he like that? Because he doesn't really like the show much, does he? So does he go for the big one or the little one? Because I think you can't do handstands when you're transitioning out this, that, and the other, and you can't do...
It's not about him, it's about us, as students. So when he's watching me, I know that I can't help but want to, you always want to impress your teacher or whatever, but also, if you go too high or if you make it too much of a show, then obviously
you get the
you're going to get whipped.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, all right, so we jumped into that, and then you were into Padmasana, you came down, straightened the arms, and then back out the same way.
When you're jumping into it and come onto the crown of the head, lift up, then you're doing tripod headstand, which isn't so hard.
Yes.
And you could always just enter it by walking and lifting up.
Yes.
And then, of course, it's going to depend on your ability to come into
Padmasana.
That can be tough.
Yeah.
It's actually a bit easier in the air than it is on the ground.
Okay.
I think because your legs are free to go in both directions, right? And then it's all about curling in on yourself. So being able to pull the knees high up towards your chest.
Yeah.
If I was doing it here on the floor, it's a lot of hip flexor and Uddiyana Bandha.
Yeah.
Trying to pull
all of that
legs in here.
Yeah.
And wedge the knees high up on the upper arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's about shifting the weight back so that as your hips come back, that's what's going to help you lift your head and pushing through the arms to straighten. Yeah.
Is it likely that people will straighten their arms to start with, or are they going to stay relatively bent?
I feel like this is the most accessible one because you can, when you're curling in on yourself, assuming that you've done all the other postures, if we're talking about the Ashtanga context, you've already built up that strength that's going to let you, and the flexibility that'll get you the knees high enough. But if you've never done it before, it might take a little while. Yeah. Okay. But this is a much easier way to enter it, in my opinion, than from lifting. The next
from
two.
From the floor.
The next two that we do are lifting up. So this one, because you're dropping into it, you don't have to work against gravity as much.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That was
so a good way you could practice it too, actually, is if you do Bakasana with your head on the floor.
Yes.
And you get used to tipping your weight back.
Yeah.
And then you try to lift up.
So it's that same feeling.
It's that, it's very similar.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then when you came out, you came back to that L. You came back to an L-shaped.
That's
and then you came into the Chaturanga.
I always come back down to a pike and then go back into Chaturanga instead of doing the tree timber
fall
kind of fall. It's a bit more controlled, and I've found it's nicer on the lower back over time.
That looked good. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Okay, what's next?
Okay. So next is Vrischikasana B.
Yep.
So from downward dog, we jump through. Exhale there, and then inhale, we're coming into lotus again.
Yeah.
So I'd say this, personally, I think this one's the hardest one.
Okay.
So from here, we're going to swing the legs forward and then pull them back into the same position we were just in for A. And then on this one, we just jump straight back.
Cool. Yeah.
So that's the one, this one people tend to get a little bit stuck on.
And this is the one where I see some people spray their arms to try and help their legs slide up the back of their arms, is it?
Yeah.
That sort of thing?
Yeah. This is what I see most of the time.
Or step.
People have to go piece by piece.
Yeah.
So they go up and they manage to get one knee back.
Yeah.
And the other knee up. And then they kind of climb.
Walking up.
Yeah.
That's okay if you've got some grip. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's good to stop shaving your legs when you start third series.
Stop shaving them?
Yeah, for all of intermediate, I was just shaving everything. I quickly realized, let it
you've got a bit of grip might be nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard for fourth series, you have to shave just certain portions.
Little sections to get the grip where you need it.
That's right, yeah. It's
never
much
mind.
more specific.
You look bonkers, yeah. Good, okay, so what is it that keeps, I saw you've got tremendous amount of wrist extension in order to take the shoulders way forward of the wrist.
To pull the legs
that
back
look
and
like
through.
like this sort of angle.
Quite an angle,
That's
yeah.
giving you the fulcrum and the counterbalance.
Right.
But are you just going to tell me it's the underband that draws the knees up the back like that? Is it more than that? Are you trying to round your back as you're lifting everything up?
Yeah, it's both of those things, right?
Okay.
So the first thing I did was I tried to find that shape again.
Yeah.
The shape that I'm going to end up holding.
Okay.
And instead of trying to pull through and then lift my knees up, that's going to be so much harder because my legs are dropped away from my torso.
Already, yeah.
So how much height do I have to get to be able to get the legs
Yeah.
through? So the first thing I'm going to try to do is shorten the torso by pulling in here and then lifting to here.
And you're trying to keep them, okay,
And then I'm going to try to keep that tightness, the thighs close to the body, shift, and then I'm going to reach from the deltoids and round the upper back. Push.
Yeah. And then pull them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you kept them close to the body the whole time.
Tried to, yeah.
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 Cool.
So a bit of a killer.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, I think you could try that one. But you'll find the next one is maybe a bit easier.
Easy. Oh, we like easier. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. What are we doing next?
So the next one again, C, starts in downward dog. We jump through. Take lotus. And now this time, we bring the hands in front.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So you have
And
no
then
drag them through.
rock here.
Yes.
Spin the arms in, push the shoulders back, and lift. So you end up being in the same position again.
Okay.
Yeah. But I feel like it's a bit more accessible. I don't know if everyone would agree though.
So why so many entries into the same thing in so many different ways? Can you see a purpose behind it? No.
Well, it's all a little arbitrary. There's a lot of contraction happening, like in the core. And, like, why is it there? I don't know. Yeah.
I just wonder why the different styles of getting in.
And it's interesting because for me, the C, the third version is so much easier than the second version. So usually we kind of progress into difficulty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But have you talked to any practitioners where it's the other way around?
Where
they find maybe C the hardest?
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's either B or C.
Right.
Not so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've given up trying to figure
it out.
Yeah. I think actually these three are a bit easier than some of the ones coming up.
Right.
So maybe in that sense, like Vrischikasana as a package is easier than the next two postures.
Right. Okay.
Galavasana and Eka Pada Bakasana.
All right. And you said when you're in that position, before you lifted,
Yeah.
you rolled the shoulders in. Is that what you were
Spin
saying?
the arms in.
Spin the arms in.
So the humerus roll in.
Okay. And this is the whole, so coming from the shoulder.
Yeah, and then push
Okay.
the shoulder back.
Okay. So rolling the whole thing in, dropping the shoulders back.
Both of those actions have to happen. Like you can't if you just spin your arms in and you try to lift, your arm is off of your shoulder joint.
So it's not stable.
No, it's not going to be good.
Okay.
And if you just try to pull your shoulders back, you're going to lift the index knuckles of the hands and make the hands light. And then you're not going to be able to access the upper body. You're just going to be working from
there.
the bandhas, yeah.
Well, and was that the same for B? Did you do that action before you drew back?
I do it for every lifting action when the arms are below. Like
all right,
that.
cool.
Yeah.
So I just missed that bit on the other ones. Okay,
Yeah.
good. So that's a really, really good key point, isn't it? To get that action rolling in and then draw the arms down.
Yep, it's so arms spin in, push the shoulders back, round the upper back.
Yeah. Because we're always talking about rolling the shoulders out so much, aren't we? So it's like almost counterintuitive.
I think it comes down to the words that we're using to describe the actions, you know? Because I think about pushing the shoulders back because I want the action to originate in the hands.
Yeah.
And I feel like when we say roll the shoulders back,
Yeah.
people work from the upper back.
Yes, yeah.
And they pull the shoulder blades together.
Yeah.
And that takes me out of my hands.
Okay.
Yeah, so the whole thing to floating,
Yeah.
I've said it before, is pushing through the hands.
Yes.
And so you have to figure out how to get work to happen in your shoulders and your upper back through your hands.
Through your hands.
Yeah, you can't just start in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so we've done the Kukutasanas.
Yeah.
Then what comes after that?
Next is Galavasana.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're sort of nice as a posture itself, but maybe not as you get into it this way.
Maybe. Well, yeah, it's not so bad the other versions, right? So I'll show you the Ashtanga version, and then we could talk about other options. We do both sides.
I was going to say, you don't come.
But
you're saving yourself.
I'm saving myself
That's
for the
fine.
sake of demonstration.
Yeah, really, only.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So that was, you were hooking your foot around that forearm. That's what's giving you the grip. Both contact with the shin on backs of both arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see how we get the leg to come up high using the knee?
No,
So when we're
let's see that.
in here, the leg is up. So I could do the other side now this time. So if I'm here, I bend that leg. I use this knee to drive the shin.
To bring it down.
Yeah.
Right up into your armpit.
Yeah. And then I'm flexing this foot,
Yeah.
the left foot back
That's
into the
what's
right
gonna
upper
grip.
arm.
Yeah.
And then extending the leg.
Ah, nice.
And I don't want to just tip, teeter-totter.
No.
I want to try to lift up.
Okay.
So I stretch the leg up, and then it's like kind of lifting into a handstand almost.
Yeah.
Trying to.
Nice. And what, I'll let you come out, so I won't just talk this. So what angle are we looking to get? Are we looking to get a, 70?
I think that would be nice, yeah.
That sort of thing?
Yeah, 70
Rather
sounds good.
So whatever that might be.
Yeah, 45 degree will be much easier.
Yeah.
Just using the back leg as a lever to lift the front.
To lift the front.
Still work.
Okay.
But I feel like it's a much more interesting pose when the angle is steeper.
Yes.
And you feel more weight driving down into the hands to lift,
But the arms are still meant to be straight rather than bent?
The work is to straighten them.
Okay.
I don't know if they got straight or not there. Usually one can get straight and the other one's a little bent.
They look pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
So straight arms, straight leg, straight body.
Straight everything.
Straight everything. From head to toe should be
Hey,
straight, yeah?
yeah.
It isn't, unless you were like,
So hard, but
Yeah.
I'm sure there's people that can do it.
Okay, but you're aiming for that.
Aiming for it, yeah.
Okay, nice.
You're always balancing. You've
Yeah.
always got that ideal,
Yes.
and that's where you're gonna work towards. Yeah.
Okay.
Considering too in your mind that you've still got many other
Maybe-
arm balances to do.
Do you think, it would going to play on your mind, but do you just concern yourself with what is happening at that moment in time, or does it actually go through your head, oh shit, we've still got to come?
No, I think to do the practice properly, you've got the whole map.
Okay.
You're not ever just
Yeah.
we can say it's about being as present as possible, but
Right.
presence doesn't exclude the future or the accommodation of the future. So
Okay.
I'm any vinyasa, I'm always thinking about the next vinyasa and what's coming ahead. To me, that's like the mastery of it.
Yeah.
You'd be a silly practitioner if you put everything you had
Into just
into
this
one
one
pose.
pose.
Yeah, right?
Nothing left, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a rookie mistake.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Galavasana, that was,
Yeah, that was Galavasana.
this is the trick, isn't it? That we're talking about these postures, but they're third series postures. And so I was just about to say, make sure you've got the external rotation in the hip before you go doing this, because it's going to put too much pressure on the knee. But this is within the context of third series, so you should have it already.
That. You've already put your legs
got it.
behind your head
Exactly.
and all of that stuff.
Yeah. So
But we were talking about other entrances. So I remember a long, long time ago taking vinyasa classes,
Yes.
and people would do versions of
From
this
standing,
posture.
yeah.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah. You know that, right?
yeah, I do that. Yeah.
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 So you can always do. We call it flamingo pose, where we bend the leg
Yeah.
and then get into position here.
Yeah. And so
Right?
so that is a good training ground, isn't it? Because this is
Yeah.
the principally the same, really.
Same idea, but you already start an extension,
Yeah.
so it's a bit easier. But it's harder to find that straight angle, I think.
Yes.
It's harder to lift as high with the back leg
Yeah.
because you've already kind of you've set yourself. You can't
Yeah.
tip as you lift up.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you notice when I did it with my head down, I lifted the leg and then lifted.
And then lifted the
Then-
body.
yeah.
Mm.
Whereas this one, you don't have that option, right?
You're
Your legs
already
on the floor.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And
And
it looked more harder to keep the foot up in the armpit.
Maybe, yeah.
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 Okay.
I'm getting a little sweaty too. So.
Yeah. I can't move back any further because this post is in the way. Okay, so what we got after Galavasana then?
This one's terrible. Eka Pada Bakasana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yelena,
Yeah.
call in the substitute.
Yelena has a really super beautiful. I think the
It's
best one I've ever seen.
It's really, really nice.
Yeah. But we can look at my shitty version.
You've got to see the crap in order to appreciate the beauty and other things. The entry's nice.
Oh, thank you very much,
Yeah.
Stu. I appreciate that.
Nice.
Feeling
That's
a
pretty good. Yeah.
Competitive there.
Yeah. Like,
Fired me up.
Excellent. So that looked nice. So is that knee resting on the back of this leg, or is it meant to be just
No, it's
floating?
resting. It's
It is
touching.
definitely
Yeah, yeah.
resting. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
It's a different posture if it's floating. Then it's like
Okay.
I don't know, half tuck
Okay.
handstand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's definitely resting there.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. There's another version that people do sometimes where they'll use the one leg to push the knee into position as well.
Again, so
Yeah,
the
if
same
you-
idea of using the other leg to get you in the right place.
Yeah, and I think if the glutes are tight,
Okay.
maybe, if it's hard or
Yes.
if it's hard for you to get
Yeah.
the knee high on the arm, that
So
can
this
help.
it should be right up in the armpit or on the back of the arm of the
Yeah,
armpit.
start
Okay.
high,
Yeah.
and then as you hold the
accept-
pose, it starts to
Yes.
slide down. Especially now, it's easier for me because we're not in the sequence. But when you're all sweating
And
and,
you've done
tired,
everything else
yeah,
already.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Okay, cool. And so all of this, you'd be doing one side vinyasa out and then back into. No, you do.
No, you do both sides.
do
So
both sides before you come out.
you would come up. Notice
Yeah.
I'm doing left leg up, right knee bent
Yeah.
first for this posture, and then come out of the pose, head down,
Yeah.
both legs up,
Up.
and then do the other side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, that was. It did well there.
Yeah?
Yeah, I reckon.
Alright.
Yeah. Gave her a run for her money.
Thank you, Stu.
Yelena's off camera. She's watching with a critical eye over there.
How was it? Was it okay,
Was
Yelena?
it like marks out of
Was it
10?
alright?
What do you reckon?
You know what? In her
Seven?
head, I know exactly what
Seven and a half?
She was in her head. She was screaming, "Point the foot."
Was it?
I never point the foot. Yeah. Ballet.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. So what comes after this one?
Next is Koundinyasana. Oh no, sorry, is Eka Pada Bakasana B.
So
This
how does
one's
this
nice now.
Okay.
It's compared to the other ones.
Yeah.
I think maybe I'm doing it wrong because it's too nice.
Because it's too nice. It's bound. Yeah. It's always like a rule of thumb, isn't it?
So you go inhale, come up, and then both the knees come in like Bakasana,
Yeah.
and then we bring
Oh yeah.
one
this
leg forward.
Okay.
And so if I was doing the correct vinyasa,
You
this
go
is a
up.
good time to
Yes.
demonstrate it because it's easier.
Great. So the position is bum down like Titibasana or level?
I think it's a little bit bummed down to be able to lift the leg high.
Okay.
Because how Titibasana,
It's like the bum super down and the legs
Yeah.
just straight up.
yeah. Though there's different versions of Titibasana
Yes.
in there, yeah.
Mm.
So it's somewhere in between
Okay.
the other ones, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I feel like that one's pretty accessible because you can rest a lot more weight on your
your
arms. Yeah.
arm, okay.
And you can use more of your counterbalance because your
Yes.
hips come back to lift the head up.
Okay.
It's more like a realistic
Yeah. If you can do
posture.
Titibasana, you can probably
Exactly,
do that.
yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And then next is Koundinyasana.
Okay.
So now we've got twists
Yes.
coming in as well.
Yeah.
And now these are ones too that show up all the time in Hatha.
Exactly. Yeah. People
Mm.
do these all the time.
Yeah, and vinyasa sequences. But again, this one especially coming from the headstand down is what makes it pretty interesting.
Because we sometimes I'm not a vinyasa practitioner, but the raw we sometimes I do a lot of arsing around basically off the mat, and so you could also access it from, say, Pada Bakasana, couldn't you?
Yeah, right.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Pada
yeah.
Bakasana, and then you
Or like a
straighten the legs.
Vrischikasana type variation.
Yes,
You see people come in here into
That's
this.
what I was thinking, yeah. From there, and then you
and then come
tip, and
forward
then you straighten the legs. Yeah. Okay.
So
But it's a different ball game completely from lowering down, I imagine.
yeah, because when you're on your feet, then just the twisting is you're grounding through your legs, and you can use your arm to help you twist. When you're up, it's through your hands and then just through your core to twist. You can't use the strength of the legs.
Of the legs, yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe that's quite good also then, because you're really accessing your twisting muscles rather than using the levers that we so like to use.
It is good, yeah.
So
but it's tough.
But it's
At least
tough.
I find it really tough. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice. So I saw you instead of just tipping yourself down, you lowered, once you were in the posture, you lowered the whole thing towards the floor.
Yeah, I wait. I keep the head on the floor until the legs are on the outside, and then come up.
Yeah.
And then I keep the legs on the arm, bring the head down, and then come back up.
Yeah.
So I try to stay stable on the crown of the head and with the arms. You can combine the movements. You know, you can try to shoot the legs out to the side as you lift your head up. But it starts to get a little random.
Okay.
Yeah.
But also when you were actually sort of, you'd got the hands on the legs, you'd lifted the head, you were relatively high.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But then you sunk
then
everything down, rather than just tip the head down and the bum up.
Yeah.
You just sunk it all down.
So if you look at what's happening when I do that, I'll take the easy way in.
Yeah.
I'm deepening the twist, actually.
Okay.
You know, because the legs stay up just as high.
Because they're on the elbow.
Yeah, but the hips start to drop.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I start to feel more of a twist
Okay.
in the side body, yeah.
All right.
And more opening in the chest.
And so then it would be face to mat or chin to mat?
Chin just above the mat. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Like chaturanga.
Yeah.
You know, often when we're starting chaturanga dandasana, we keep the body in line with the upper arms. And then you see as people get stronger, they start to be able to lower down.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Nice. Not too long a rest. What's next?
All right. Next is Ashtavakrasana. We're almost done, actually.
Oh, this is nice too.
Yeah. So there's two versions. First one again, headstand. This is the last headstand one. And then to keep it interesting, you try to keep your head on the floor as you go in.
As you get through, and then.
And then lift up.
Yeah.
You do that lowering thing again.
Yeah. And this is a posture that loads of people will have done.
Right.
But just not getting into it this way.
Yeah, just the more usually from a sitting entry. But you see, I can talk while I do this one, so it's not as bad.
You're coasting there.
Yeah.
There's the pike. Good. And so it's the top leg that crosses over the top, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
I think that one's actually a little bit deceptive because it takes a while to be able to get your foot through your arm.
With
your head on the floor.
Okay.
One of my students gave himself a black eye a
Yeah?
few weeks ago.
By doing it.
Yeah. Because he was trying to keep his head down, and he brought his leg in to try to get it through, and his knee hit him.
Oh, pain. Okay.
He's all right.
So he survived.
Yeah, he's okay.
So that was good. So, but keep the head down to bring it through, rather than lift it.
Yeah, it was Kino actually told me to do that, but it makes sense, that same stabilizing effect to it. And it makes you push a lot more. Where when you start to lift your head as you bring your leg through, it just kind of destabilizes you, makes it a lot more random.
Okay.
It can be more fluid, but I think it's a lot harder to track where your body is, like what's going on. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
So you said that was the last one off of the head.
Yeah, and so there's two Ashtavakrasanas.
Yes.
The last one's from a handstand type position. Yeah.
Nice.
And then we would jump into it again on the other
On
side.
the other side. Okay, and so you don't. So you transition back out to Bakasana.
Yeah,
Are
thank
you-
God.
So it's not meant to be back up to handstand again, or
No.
tuck handstand.
No,
Is to Bakasana.
no. You can
Okay.
do that, but I mean, that wouldn't be the...
That wouldn't be the proper vinyasa.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Nice.
Yeah. And then after that, we're done. That's the end of the balancing. Then we go into a deep twist.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that-
not
yeah.
so bad.
Well, you know, individually, as we've said, there's bits that are accessible for a lot of people, aren't there? But it's just the relentlessness of one after the other after the other.
Yeah.
And also, if you're an Ashtangi and you're sticking to the sequence, you'd never reach them, basically, because for majority of people, 99.8% of people, they're not going to reach that far into third series, or even to third series, or even halfway through second series. If you think of all the Ashtanga practitioners in the world, how many do actually ever reach third
Third
series?
series? Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think? I think
don't
probably
know.
1% of that.
Really?
I
That
don't know.
low?
I think so. I don't know. When you think of, I would say the bulk of the practitioners are half primary,
Yeah.
maybe only 20% to full primary, maybe only 10% doing, or less than that doing second. Do you think? I don't know.
Well, let's run those numbers then. Well, right now, so here
Yeah.
at the retreat,
Yeah.
there's maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm including me and Yelena
Yeah.
as well. At least 4 people,
Yeah.
and maybe there's like, I think there's almost 40 people in the room.
Yeah.
So that's 10%.
10%. Yeah. Yeah. It's swayed slightly though by you guys. Do you think?
But we're
I think-
Ashtanga practitioners.
Yeah, but you're like
We're teachers.
you're teachers.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm
maybe.
thinking of the troops.
I don't know. I don't like to think. I mean, I think it's difficult to get
Yeah.
to it, but I don't know if it's that 1%.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that low.
Be nice. If anyone's got figures out there or has spent their time calculating these sort of things, it would be great to know what sort of how the breakdown goes out of what people's doing
Well,
percentage-wise.
maybe it's just also the time my shala's been open, but
Yeah.
now there's way more people doing third at my shala
Uh-huh.
than there was 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's more people practicing.
Mm.
So I don't know if that percentage stayed the same, but
Yeah.
it's definitely more than 1%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, you have to have the teachers that can take you to third. So you have to have a
Right.
teacher that's
Yeah,
good
yeah.
enough to take you into third as
Yeah.
well, which is
Or a
also-
good video.
or good. Yeah, that goes. You just do it yourself. Yeah, exactly. Cool. Is there any final points you want to tell us about as far as these sorts of things goes? Any mistakes you've made in your own practice coming to these things? Oh shit, I should never have done that because I thought it was going to be easy, but now I
Well,
messed it up.
I mean, they're titillating. They're fun. They're energetic.
Mm.
So I find arm balance is really stimulating and strengthening. But at the same time, if you're working at balancing your body out and you're trying to open up your back for back bends and
Yes.
things like that, this stuff doesn't help.
No.
Yeah, it make you stronger, but it won't make you more flexible for opening up. That line in the front body. So you might want to at least, if you're working on these out of context, you might want to counter it somehow by doing some kind of stretching in the front body.
Front body.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, or just wait till you get to it through the sequence of intermediate. Yeah.
If you have that patience.
If you have
but if
that-
you're like
and that
me, just
lifespan.
go ahead and play. Cool. You're good. Thanks so
Yeah.
much, David. It was brilliant.
Thanks, dude.
Cool. Thanks.
Okay.
Great. Have fun.